Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
So I want you to think about this for a moment as I ask this question. Do you feel secure? And I'm not attaching anything to that, but secure or feeling security comes in many different forms. Think about that for a second. Now let's go into the categories. Secure in yourself, secure in your finances, and on and on and on. We're going to start there today. I believe it's going to uncover some other thoughts as we work our way through with her. She's an amazing psychotherapist, and she has a superpower of making us realize certain things in our lives that maybe need adjustment or maybe not. Susie Engel is back on the program with us. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, Steve. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Do you feel secure?
Yes, I feel secure, which is a great thing. I mean, I think it's always like once we get through childhood and probably adolescence, it's something for us to all establish for ourselves, and it's an internal thing, but it shows whether we are secure or insecure externally. It could be torturous if we're not feeling secure about ourselves.
And I believe that can happen and you don't even know what it is. Like you just feel off or you're always on guard. And it essentially comes back to you don't feel secure in yourself. But it's not about this massive ego. I feel great about myself. I'm fantastic. No, it's more of, and I don't mean this in a religious way, but if you want to go there, that's up to you. It's more about faith, having faith in yourself and maybe what's around you gives you that feeling of security. What do you think?
Yeah, and faith or spirituality or some sort of belief system doesn't have to always attach to religion. It can be the broadest way. But if we have faith that everything's going to have, or everything has a way of working out, or we have faith to look back, and I'm not going to latch on to the faith part of this, but if we have catastrophic thoughts about a situation and pause and kind of flip through our file cabinet up here in our brain, click, 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 and say, wait a minute, each time I've had this catastrophic thought or this level of fear, it's interesting. Everything's had a way of working out. And I think that's a wonderful benchmark.
I'm kind of blown away that you're saying that because I've said it this week like 4 times already. And I brought it up because my mom always used to say that. And now it's coming up again in my thoughts and sharing it with others as they go through things. But she always used to say, it'll all work out. Yeah. And of course, when you're in DEFCON 4, and you're like, oh, look what's going on here. No, it'll all work out. But I have to say, it does all work out. I don't know how magically, but it does. Well, what enables it? And
yeah.
Where do we get in the way of it working or maybe not working out?
Yeah. I mean, it's not magical. It's not magical that things have a way of working out. It's fundamentally our contributions to that or our contributions to things not working out. So we really have to always come back to what is my sense of agency and how can I say I've had a hand in this or I've kind of directed how I'd like this to play out as best I can. Now, there's an element of luck. There's an element of, preparation. There's an element of experience. There's an element of age. Your mother saying this was, her way of saying, I want to comfort my child or whoever else is around me. And it's also her way of saying, I've been around enough times to be able to say, just like we were just mentioning a minute ago, that if we look back when we have this level of fear, that for the most part, things work out. So if we can calm ourselves and have clarity in these moments, we have a lot to do with making sure that things work out.
Thank you for bringing that up, because I guess that was her older wisdom that she was sharing. But back in the day when I was younger, I couldn't validate it. Maybe like, here's another thing that somebody, and I love her, but it's like another old person phrase, like, oh, come on, like, work out and all the other stuff. But I have to say, everything she said, and I'm not saying this because she was my mom, she was right. She was right, because I can validate it now years later, having had the proof that it all does all work out. And maybe reverse engineer that phrase, because you started it today. It's not that I'm bringing it up. You brought it up, and I think it's amazing that you did, because it's been on my mind. Reverse engineer it. What didn't work out? Think about that for a second. This year, what'd you do that didn't work out? And I think of a few things, nothing major. The important things, even the health stuff, in my world, they worked out. And the things that didn't, these little things here and there, side projects, etc., nothing major. But I know why they didn't work out the way I expected them to. And there was a lesson in it. And as much as I like to say, why does it have to be a lesson? Everything's got to be a lesson. I get it now. Okay. And I see it. And I see a pattern too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing. And I don't know, you probably want to follow up on this too, but there's a couple of elements that we have to kind of identify as the anatomy of what works out. So when things work out, first of all, we have to distinguish what is in our control and what's not. So when you bring up a health issue, a lot of that is not in our control. A lot of that is in our control. It all depends on what the health issue is, and we don't have to get into the details. People can make sense of that. If there are certain diseases we do not have control over. And yet what we do have control over is a healthy lifestyle, or a healthy lifestyle pretty much encompasses what we need to do, and an attitude of positivity or optimism. I mean, that is definitely stress management. It may fall into the category of healthy lifestyle, but stress management is huge. If we are in stress response, and we talk about trauma quite often in our discussions, if we are in stress response where our alarm system is always revving, and my clients know this, if we're always functioning in survival and functioning in fight, flight, or freeze, or other heightened defenses that have strengthened within us, it's going to wear and tear. I mean, there's a ton of research. Just look at the results of the ACE study. It's going to result in a weakened immune system.
Yep.
And it's going to result in other chronic. That's not to say we're to blame for diagnoses, but there's a lot to say that there's a lot we can do in terms of stress management and regulation. So, I was also joking in my mind when you were talking about your mother. It's like, oh, everything works out. And it's like, yeah, right. It's like anxious people, when people say, take a deep breath, relax. It's like the worst thing to say to somebody if they don't have the buildup of regulating themselves. If they know deep breathing and they know how to regulate themselves, AKA relax, then it's not insulting for somebody to say, take a deep breath, relax, because it registers to us like we have to regulate, and we can regulate. And that helps turn off that alarm system. That's stress management. And then we have clarity, because then the good part of our brain is really functioning at a great level, not with interference from the alarms.
But how do we know that? Because we tried these tools and they worked for us. But I totally agree with you. If you say it to somebody else and they don't have evidence that it works, they're going to be, no, I'm breathing, shut up, go away. It's not going to do anything for me.
I mean, the bottom line is we shouldn't, I really do not practice therapy with my social circles or my family. I only do it at my office or here on this podcast. I mean, it's really like it falls under the category of unsolicited advice. And when somebody says, I'm freaking out about something, they really don't want to hear like solutions. They don't want somebody to say, relax, take
They want to be heard, right? They just want to be heard.
They just want to be listened to. And to be heard, when I can say I am heard in my life, I am heard, that is a good indication of self-worth. And so
say that last part again.
Well, in contrast to feeling unheard and somebody's venting or like catastrophizing and somebody else gives unsolicited advice, the unsolicited advice is not falling on good ears and they feel unheard. That person who just said, oh my gosh, I'm scared to death, blah, blah, blah. That person is scared to death. And to be told, relax, take a deep breath, that's a real turnoff. But if I feel heard in my life, if I share something or some stress with somebody and they say, wow, either tell me more about that, or I get it, or it must be tough stuff, then I feel heard. And it's just validating my self-worth.
I feel that you can't accept these things unless you've tried them and you have proof. You know, all of this, like it all works out, all of these things that we're saying here, the breathing techniques and all. If this was us having this conversation 5 years ago and before, I wouldn't be drinking this Kool-Aid. I would be like, yeah, but you don't understand. Like, you know, this is that, and this is this, and this, and I'm worried, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. But you've worked on yourself. And,
yes.
and this is the bottom line. How do we know if we feel secure about ourselves or insecure about ourselves? It's funny because I was thinking that this conversation would go toward like financial security and insecurity because it's the holiday time. But the bottom line, well, there is no bottom line. If we are taught that if we have a pattern in our lives, sorry, I was just thinking, trying to put words to my thoughts. If we can recognize, and you can compare yourself from 5 years ago to today. You do that, Steve. If 5 years ago, you can look back and say, oh yeah, I had a pattern of reactions to things. There's a clear pattern for me, or I have a pattern in relationships, or I have a pattern in finances or whatever this is. If I can say, oh, what is it about my patterns that are not working out for me? It's not about self-blame and shaming ourselves. It's about really trying to problem solve. And if we feel escalated all the time or insecure all the time, then it's really a warning flag that we should take a good look at our foundational premise and see how we can refresh it or renew it. And that's the key to therapy. Therapy helps us rewire and develop new information networks. So there are lessons in our mistakes and there are lessons in our patterns.
Oh, completely. One of my biggest regrets as I look back, now that I feel I'm in a different place, why did I ever worry about, you said finances, money? Why did I worry about it? I always used to, when there was no evidence of any issues, think about money. Like what, got different things going on. What if this goes away, that particular job? Now, I family to support, blah, 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 blah. Shut up.
Yeah, shut up. That
It was
part
a
of the body.
but it was because I was wired previously, from childhood and all those things to worry about that. There was no reason to, but I did. And now I don't worry about it so much. It's okay. Why? Because I experienced the evidence that said it will all work out.
Yeah. And really, esoterically, we are enough. And if we can feel that within our bodies, and when you said shut up, I said that part of our body, because those ruminating thoughts are part of our left brain, which is part of our body. Our body is our mind and soul and physical self. It's all one. And if we can recognize that we are enough, I am enough, I have enough, that brings a level of calm.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there's no harm, there's no stress in being generous. There's no stress in doing for others. It's like a selfless, and I think we've talked briefly about this in the past, but maybe not enough. Maybe we have to talk about what is it like? What does it mean to be selfless?
Mm.
No. What does that mean? I mean, that's a whole nother series of podcasts, probably.
But it
But
is
I think it's a beautiful thing.
it's the
Yeah, go
game
ahead.
changer, though, as you say, Susie, when you feel that you can rely on yourself. And let's be honest here. You can be
Yes.
in relationships and you've got a partner, husband, wife, whatever. Okay, that's great. However, until you got you, you're never going to feel, back to the first word of this podcast, secure,
Secure.
because
Yeah.
nothing else is going to help you out there. It has to be you feeling, even on the financial thing. You got a little detection of, something's going to change over here, and I'm going to pilot. I need to make sure, I have money. Da da da. If you have that security in yourself, it's like, well, if something changes, I'll figure it out. You know what? I can. I've got these skills. I've got these talents. I'll be able to generate more income in a period of time. But just that knowing that you got you is just a kind of a wonderful feeling. It really
Yeah,
is.
I'm so glad that you're saying that because it prevents so many other issues too. When we feel right about ourselves, when we know I have myself, not to be overly self-reliant, but certainly not to be codependent, right? When we know ourselves, there is that sense of security. I'm not walking around like a zombie. I'm not walking around lost.
And it's not to
And it
say that
opens,
you're
yeah,
gonna
sorry.
you're gonna go like this,
Yeah, of
in terms of
course.
life as it presents. But and this is an audio podcast too, and I'm just like waves in front of you.
Okay.
But it's always going to be that way because that's life. And there's going to be waves you go over, and next wave, next wave.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that security in yourself, and that all knowing that ultimately you will take care of you. You're going in tidal waves now, trying to navigate life. And even
Yeah.
if those tidal waves aren't there, you invented them in your head because of your fear and feeling that you're not going to be secure.
I say this therapy, I would like to do like worldwide therapy, just open up the channels, let people chime in, ask questions, just be on a Zoom link around the world. But therapy does not take away stress. Therapy gives us this foundation to cope in our best ways. So those waves of stress are manageable because we know ourselves and we are okay.
That's it. We're saying the same thing. We
Yes,
know our set and we
exactly.
know it's going to be. And that first came to me 4 years ago, where I was going through some stuff personally, and didn't know what the future and all of that, and there was those waves. It was navigating the big waves. And I walked out of here and was going to my car. I think I was going to get a cup of coffee, lunch, whatever. And I just looked up at the sun. I'm like, I think it's going to be all right. And I called that the quiet calm. I had that quiet calm where, all right, it's going to be okay. It's looking better, and I'm feeling more confident and that I have this. And then it just got stronger and stronger.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
Do you think it's therapy? It's not the answer, but do you think it allows us to look at things in a different way?
Oh my gosh. I think therapy is transformative. I think not because I think there's something wrong with everybody. I think everybody would benefit from therapy because it just gives them a fast forward to get to know themselves and understand themselves, not according to other people's standards, according to their own context. And it's not about me understanding their context. I teach other therapists how to do this or with consultation. It's not about our job to understand the concept, although that's super helpful, but it's our job to help the client understand their context. So if they've had, whatever their life experiences are, and they begin to see how these life experiences have informed them, maybe they can re-inform themselves now. It doesn't make bad experiences good, but it makes their place in those experiences healthier or more adaptive. It's fantastic. I think therapy benefits. It's kind of like people who I know in recovery. The 12 steps would benefit anybody in the broadest way, because the 12 steps also teach people to look at themselves and to be accountable, not to bring shame upon themselves, but to outgrow whatever they were maladaptive or trying to cope with. So all these things are beneficial, whatever. I don't know what else to say about that.
Yeah, you've said it. And I think it's the secret to navigating life's challenges, just knowing that I got your back, meaning you got your back. That's really
back. Yeah. And it's also, it's not a secret. It's a, I just lost my thought. It's like an opportunity for personal growth.
Yeah, I think a lot of this also comes back to relationships. We thrive on that. We're social creatures. Yes. However, many of us look toward others to give us things that we need or we think we need. But when you get right down to it, it's an inside job. Yes, it is.
What you're saying is important, because relationships are crucial, but it's our relationship with ourselves first.
Yep. And until you figure that out, you're not going to figure the rest out. Hey, I don't have all the answers. I don't know if you do, but you know what?
Inside each of you,
yes,
each of us, it's innate. We have it there. Yeah.
It's like driving through a snowstorm in life. And you can see only so much ahead of you as the snow's coming at the windshield. But once you better know yourself, now the snow starts going away and you can see a little clearer of what you need, what's in front of you. Oh, wait, something just walked across the road. Got to stop. You wouldn't be seeing that same way if you're going through that heavy snowstorm, i.e. not knowing yourself and not relying on yourself. I could just keep going, but we're out of time.
I love it.
This is the secret to happiness. It really is. I feel
it's not a secret.
Well,
it's inside of each of us. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
I feel it's
the key.
It's the key. Yes. I was thinking that word, you said it, but many of us don't realize where to find that key. We're looking for something, but we don't know what it is. It's you. Like, hello, it's you. What's the best way to find you, Susie? If somebody's going through some challenges, wants to talk, how do they do that?
The best way is to go to my website. So it's my name, Susan Engel -lcsw.com.
Always great talking with you.
Thank you, Steve.
Your energy is
Thank you.
just so spot on, and your passion for what you do is it's beautiful. It truly is.
Thank you.
And I wish you and your family happy holidays and a
And to
secure
you,
one at that.
and to you too, for sure.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Be well. It's funny. We're talking about snowstorms. There's one in the forecast in our area at the end of the week.
Yeah, I think we're going to get the fringe of it.
Yeah, I think we're getting like, I don't know, like 3 to 6 inches or something like that, but we'll be able to see through it. I'd like to think that. All right.
For sure.
We'll talk soon. Okay.
Thank you, Steve.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.